Every once in a while, a draft pick slips through the cracks. A player with first-round talent, elite production, and the perfect skill set for today's NFL. And somehow, he's still sitting there in the middle of the second round. That's exactly what happened with Tre Harris. Let me be clear, this isn't just a nice pick for the Chargers. This might end up being the moment we point to and say, that's when the offense changed. That's when Justin Herbert got the help he needed. Because Harris isn't just another receiver. He's a true WR1 caliber talent who fell into the Chargers' lap at 55 overall. So, in today's video, I'm going to break it down. Why am I claiming all this? Let's go. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. Now, day one was solid for the Chargers. They gave Justin Herbert a new running back to balance out the offense, something sorely needed after last season's struggles in the ground game. But day two, that's when the Chargers decided to turn up the heat. The front office zeroed in on an electric playmaker, someone who could give Herbert exactly what he's been missing. A reliable, dynamic wide receiver who can beat man coverage, stretch the field, and punish defenses for keying in on Ladd McConkey. So they selected Tre Harris. Look, on the arts, it's not often that a guy with Harris's production, physicality, and route running ability drops to the middle of the second round. This is a wide receiver who dominated SEC defenses, posted back-to-back-to-back seasons of nearly 1,000 yards or more, and did all of that in just 8 games last year. You heard that right. Over 1,000 yards in just 8 games. That's not just good. That's special. But before we go into what Harris brings to the Chargers, let's talk about what this pick really means for the offense. Last season, the Chargers had a serious problem against man coverage. It became painfully obvious by mid-season. Defenses started pressing, going man-heavy, and betting that nobody outside of McConkey could win consistently. And to be honest, they were right. Quentin Johnston, one of the worst in the league at beating man. Joshua Palmer struggled with separation and couldn't come down with those deep contested balls. The tight ends, same story. The offense became predictable and easy to clamp down on, especially when McConkey got bracketed. That's why the Tre Harris pick is so massive. This dude lives to beat man coverage. According to PFF, Harris averaged 5.12 yards per route run against man, the highest mark in all of college football. For context, that's elite. That's a game changer. This is someone who can win off the line, stack corners, separate vertically, and even punish defenses underneath with curl routes, comebacks, and slants. And the beauty of it all? He does it with size. At 6 feet 2 inches and 215 pounds, Tre Harris isn't your typical finesse separator. He's a physical receiver who creates space not just with technique, but with raw power and body control. He can beat you deep, then come back on the next play and bulldoze through 2 defenders after the catch. That's something the Chargers have sorely lacked on the outside. A true big-bodied yak threat that isn't just a possession guy, but a problem for defenses. And don't let the 40 time fool you. Sure, Harris didn't light up the stopwatch like some of the other receivers in the class, but his game speed tells a different story. He plays faster than he tests, and that's what matters on Sundays. You can see it when he stacks corners on verticals. You can see it when he separates in the red zone, and you can really see it when he gets into the open field and forces missed tackles. One of the best things about this pick, though? It shows the Chargers front office understands the assignment. Give Herbert weapons. Give him help. Fix what broke this offense in 2024, and they did it with conviction. According to reports, the Chargers were considering trading up for Tre Harris. That's how much they love the guy. And when he fell right into their laps at 55, they pounced. You could tell from the war room reaction that this was a player they were fired up about. Let's also give credit to the fit here. Tre Harris isn't just a good receiver. He's the right kind of receiver for this offense. With McConkey operating primarily in the middle of the field, Harris becomes the guy who can attack the perimeter, stretch the field vertically, and give Herbert a go-to target on the outside. It's not hard to imagine a world where this duo becomes the new heartbeat of the Chargers' passing game. And for Herbert, it's a dream scenario. Now, let's talk about traits. Harris has elite production. Check. He's strong after the catch. Check. He can beat man coverage. Check. But he also brings a few more things to the table. First off, he's a fighter. You don't average over 17 yards per catch across multiple seasons in the SEC without having that dog in you. He battles for every inch. Whether it's stiff-arming corners on bubble screens or dragging defenders for first downs, Harris is a handful. Second, he has excellent body control. Watch the tape. He tracks the deep ball beautifully, adjusts midair, and comes down with contested catches. In fact, last year he hauled in 8 of his 13 contested targets. That's a higher conversion rate than most of the top prospects in this class. And considering the Chargers have struggled to win those 50-50 balls in recent years, that's a huge plus. He's also surprisingly polished. His footwork is clean, especially on comebacks and curls. He snaps off routes and creates natural separation with timing and leverage. That makes him QB-friendly, something that Herbert will love, especially on broken plays. Now, let's be fair and talk about the concerns. No player is perfect, and Harris does come with a few flags. He missed 5 games last season with a groin injury and had a minor knee procedure the year before. There were also 5 drops and 2 fumbles on his 2024 stat sheet. But even with those, his career drop rate sits at just 6.4%, far better than Quentin Johnston's 11.8% out of college. There's also the matter of his age. He'll enter the NFL at 23. But honestly, if a red flag is that a prospect is a bit older but has 3 years of elite college production in the SEC, I'll take that every time. The only real knock might be that he played in a bit of a limited offensive system at Ole Miss. He wasn't asked to run a full NFL route tree, so some refinement will be necessary. But the tools are there. The production is there. And more importantly, the fit is perfect. In a lot of ways, Tre Harris is everything the Chargers thought they were getting in Johnston, but with better hands, better instincts, and a much more reliable game. This is a guy who doesn't need the perfect system. He just needs the ball. Now, what does this mean for the rest of the Chargers receiving core? First, the pressure is on Quentin Johnston. Last season was disappointing. No sugarcoating it. But with Harris now in the mix, the leash just got a whole lot shorter. It's clear that the top 2 moving forward could be McConkey and Harris. And honestly, that's a great thing. For Herbert, this is one of the most exciting developments in years. He's finally got a pair of young receivers who can separate, make plays after the catch, and open things up for the rest of the offense. We're not saying this receiving corps is suddenly top 5 in the league, but they're younger, more athletic, and far more versatile than they've been in recent memory. One more thing that shouldn't be overlooked, Harris can block. When he wants to, he's a physical presence on the perimeter, sealing edges and springing runs. That's going to matter in Greg Roman's run-heavy scheme. The Chargers want to run the ball more in 2025. Adding a willing blocker who can also beat man and win deep, that's just smart team building. This pick is a message. A message that the Chargers are done wasting Herbert's prime. They're building the offense around him. They're drafting weapons. And they're not afraid to go a little off script to get their guy. The phrase steal of the draft gets thrown around way too often. But in this case, it might actually apply. Tre Harris had no business falling to 55. The Chargers saw the opportunity and didn't hesitate. This could be one of those picks we look back on in a few years and say, that's where it all changed. So, what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section.